So we can run our application using the executable file that we have, and it will run the application on the local host address. And as you can see, we have that running here. There's not too much that's different with the application from the existing project because we did only spend about 10 hours working on front-end design changes, while the majority of our time was spent working on back-end log parser changes. But one of the main things that is different is the ability to load the track and log files directly from the web app itself. So we can select the track file, then select the correct log file. And by clicking the Read Contents button, it will send the track and log files to the parser using Flask. It will parse the data into a JSON file and save that in the project directory if you would like quick access to the outputted JSON file later. And then using the Google Maps API, it will display the flight path here on the web app. So we can do that. And this is one of the new VDL Mode 2 logs that we implemented on the parser. It's just a normal commercial flight. And as you can see here, there is an issue with the flight because there's no active link. So it has this warning label here. Ultimately, you want the flight to be connected to a ground station at all times, which is where the blue dots have active links at all times. So here it's connected to the Greenville Spartanburg International Airport. And you can visualize which ground station it is connected to by running the actual flight. And you can see the dotted line signifies which ground station it's connected to. And there's a green circle around the ground station that's closest to the flight. It's the one that you would want the aircraft to be connected to. A red dotted line signifies not strongest signal, while a green line signifies a strong signal to the ground station. Again, this is not too much different from the original app, but again, you can limit the animation, you can slow it down, you can speed it up, and of course, you can loop the animation. Another one of the big differences that our updated version of the application has is the ability to load multiple files. So like I said earlier, you can load the track and log files, but you can also load the JSON files as was allowed previously on the application. So here we want to select a JSON file to read the contents of. So we now have a flight from Cedar Rapids to Minneapolis. And you can toggle the view of each flight and switch back and forth between which one you would like to play and visualize. So this is going to be specifically useful when you have two flights that are very similar, going to similar locations. So you can look between the two and see which ground stations they're connected to. For example, if one flight is connected to a ground station 100 miles away while another one is connected to 10 miles away, the developers at Collins might ask questions like, why is it connected to, and then go look into the algorithm of how to optimize the flight again.
Compare function to our web application. So what it's going to do is there's going to be two log files that you can put in. So there's two types. There's the TXT and then there's the Excel. So our TXT ones are going to be the test flight files, and they differ because they have a signal strength in them, whereas the regular ones do not. So what's going to happen when you do an Excel one is it'll create an Excel file for you. And if it, okay, so it didn't even, okay. So basically what's going to happen is it's going to load it like this. It's going to give you a little toolbar telling you how long it was connected to each ground station here. And then it will tell you the total connection, like how long if the flight was, and then it'll have an active link, how long it was connected, and then how long there were no connections going on. And then you have it go again for the second address here. And then it basically just compares them. So you can just check and see the differences. So then and then the other files, when you load them in, are going to load a little bit different. So also show the test files as well. So yeah, then the test flight ones here are gonna load like this. So what's gonna happen is the difference is it's harder to calculate how long they're spent because the handoffs are different. They have times where they overlap. So instead, there's a signal strength, which is called the E value. So right here, you have the average E for the total, you have the flight time, how long the link's active, how long you're not connected. And then here's for the second set of them. Here's your average E value, your flight time, link active, and the link not active. And then each one of these is a ground station. So what happens is it's going to tell you the average signal strength for each ground station. And then it'll just give you zeros for any ground station that doesn't actually exist in the other one. And that is how our compare works.